Hello everyone, Ayana Webb here, and welcome back to your piano tutorials. You might be watching this on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. If you like this video, if you end up liking this video, just press like and share and comment, and feel free to subscribe or to follow if you want to stay updated on cover tutorials, exercises, things of that nature. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I normally do cover tutorials, but I figured I'd go over a little bit of theory that I think might interest you guys, because there is a very common chord that's used in most pop songs, and it sounds something like this. So you might hear that chord a lot, and you're probably wondering how in the world am I going to be able to play that chord, and how am I be able to hear it on the radio? So what this chord is, right? It is a 3-note chord with what's called a root, a third, and a fifth. So the root is referring to the bottom note. The third is referring to this note being 1, 2, 3 notes away from the root. And then the fifth is referring to this key being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys away from the root. So there you have a triad, right? You guys might have heard about the triad, and you guys may be interested in learning how to play the triad in any key. So today I'm going to show you how to play a major triad and how to be able to spell it out in any key that you want. So whatever the root of that triad is, that is the name of the triad. So if I'm playing this chord, right, and if C is the root, that means this is a C major triad. So really quickly, before I get into that, which is really important in terms of how to learn triads, which I do go over in my full course, by the way. Major triads, minor triads, 4-note chords, things like that, but I'll talk about that later on towards the end of the video. So when you have notes, they are distanced by what's called half steps. So for example, from C to C sharp, from this key to this key, the key right next to it, the distance between these keys is a half step, right? Also, the distance between this key and this key is also a half step, right? So here we have this note up to here is a half step. From here to is a half step, half step, half step, half step. So if you were to go up like this or down, where you're playing the very next note on each side, you're playing half steps, right? So not to be confused with the half note. A half note is a rhythm note, and it represents the length of 2 beats, but half step is just referring to the distance of 2 keys next to each other on the piano. We're going to use half steps today to be able to build a major triad in any key. So the only 2 numbers you have to remember in order to build a major triad is 4, 3, referring to 4 half steps between the first 2 notes and 3 half steps between the last 2 notes, right? So there's 3 keys in the triad. There are 4 half steps between these 2 guys and 3 half steps between these 2 guys. So the way you count it is, whatever the first note is, if you close your eyes and you fall on a key, right? Let's say if it's C, right? Conveniently, you'll fall on the key of C, right? The way you would build a C major triad is you would count C as 0, right? So this would be 0. Then you would go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how you count your way to, from the root to the third, you count 4 half steps with the root being 0. So this would be 0, your starting point, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first half of the triad. Now you have to go from the third, from here, right? And then this would be the next 0 point. You would count an additional 3 half steps from the third to the fifth. So this is how it goes. 0. From here, 1, 2, 3. Now you have your fifth. So boom, boom, boom. So again, if you're starting from C, to play a major triad would be C starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 1, 2, 3. So 4, 3 is how you build a major triad in any key. I'm going to give you 2 more examples so you can kind of understand how that works. And you'll hear the similarities between this key and, let's say, another major triad. You'll hear how they sound similar, right? I'm going to just pick, I don't know, let's say A flat, right? So now we're starting with the black key. So let's figure out how to make an A flat major triad. So now A flat is going to be our 0 point. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So now C is the third. A flat is the root, C is the third. So now we have our first half. Then from C, we're going to start start over with the counting. And then we go 1, 2, 3. So now E flat is the fifth. So now we have A flat, C, E flat. We now have an A flat major triad. Another example, let's say, is going to be D, right? So D is our root. We would just count from D. We would go 0, being D. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that's going to be F sharp / G flat is our third. So now we have to get from the third to the fifth, right? So we have to get from here to the last note. So it goes 0 from here, 1, 2, 3, and we land on A. So what that means is D, F sharp, A is what makes up a D major triad. So if you use that formula in literally any single key, you will be able to figure out how to play the major triad for that key. It works for every single key if you just follow that 4-3 half-step formula. If you want to learn more about chords, obviously the major triad is not the only one. There's a bunch of other chords that you can learn that you can apply to pop music and jazz and be able to hear those chords on the radio and be able to play them on the piano. If you want to get more information on how to do that, if you also want to learn more about sight reading and being able to pick up, a music book and be able to play, your favorite songs on piano by just reading. If you want to learn how to be able to play in different keys, then I would invite you to check out my online piano course for beginners, which there's a link. If you're on YouTube, the link is in the description box of this video. If you're on Instagram, the link will be in the description box of my main profile page. So thank you for watching. I hope that this has helped, and I will see you in my next tutorials. Thanks for watching.